One of Colorado's most expensive listings just hit the market after a meticulous 7-year build process, and let's just put it this way, this place is awesome. Priced at $28,888,888, this 14,000 square foot contemporary single family house is sitting in an area called Cherry Hills Village, which is just south of Denver, Colorado, and the owners spared absolutely no expense as they built out what they thought would be their dream home into what it is today, prior to deciding that they didn't want to be in Denver any longer. These are honestly the best type of homes to hit the market, the ones that weren't ever going to be a spec. They were built by a homeowner who had full intentions of living there, because when you're building out a house for yourself, you're usually throwing all the bells and whistles into the place, and you're not cutting any corners with quality like some spec home builders do. In today's episode, let's talk about 4001 East Quincy Avenue. Now, if you saw the title of today's video, you're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about there, and don't worry, we'll get into that here in a second, but first, let's check out the listing together. Okay, so there's a few different ways to look at this listing. Let's check it out on Zillow, since everybody's familiar with Zillow. You can see here at the top is that listing price with all the 8s in it. It is a 5-bedroom house, 8 bathrooms, and it's got almost 14,000 square feet of space. The home was finished being built in 2022. It's got 6 attached garage spaces, and it's sitting on almost 15 acres. So looking at the exterior of this house, obviously it's got a super modern look. It's got kind of a bunch of different boxy masses, including the swimming pool that kind of waterfalls off down into what looks like might be a little jacuzzi tub. And that black exterior that you see on the building is actually really interesting. It's a specific method that they use to treat exterior wood siding like this that is supposed to make it look burnt and is supposed to have some really nice kind of like preservation qualities to it as well. We'll talk more about that siding here in a couple minutes. I actually am bringing on an expert who has a lot of experience with this to tell us all about it, so stick around for that. When you look at some of these exterior shots, you can see just how much land this property is sitting on, and then this entry to the front door is really dramatic. There's another really good look at that burnt exterior siding. So this is the great room, plenty of space here. You've got that seating area in the front, dining room table in the back, fireplace behind that with that big concrete wall behind the fireplace. All these doors open up kind of accordion style, and they really accentuate the ceiling height in here. You've got 22 feet in this great room. Here's the kitchen. You've got a really cool wood detail on the ceiling, this massive island which has got seating for 4, and then kind of a big mass of marble or quartz there on the right side. Here they throw in a little shot of the guest house. So some facts about this guest house is actually 2,600 square feet. I read that the homeowners actually lived in this guest house while the main house was being built, so that's pretty cool. We've got another shot now of the kitchen. You can see they've got that exposed concrete floor on the kitchen, which contrasts really nice with the material on the island and then the cabinetry. And then as I flip through some of these other photos, which are just of some of the other bathrooms and extra bedrooms and stuff like that, I'll tell you they've got views from basically every room in this house. They've got solar panels on the top of the house, so that makes this place really energy efficient. The lot is actually zoned for agricultural and equestrian, which is nice in case you want to have some horses or maybe do some light farming. This primary bathroom here is really cool. I believe this is on the 2nd story, so you've got views kind of right out into the tree line there behind the tub, and then his and her sinks on either side of the tub. That pool, by the way, is massive. It's a 75-foot lap pool. Downstairs, they have a fitness studio, a steam room, and there's space for a home theater and a wine room down there as well. In some of these other daytime exterior shots, you can get a better look at that wood siding that's been kind of burnt, which I really do think is a cool look. Anyways, this home, again, was built for these homeowners to actually live in, so they really didn't hold back on the spending at all. They've got an elevator in here. There is a driveway snow melt system that leads up to that 6-car garage. This place is loaded. So you guys know when I find a house like this that's super expensive, but it's kind of in a more random area, that I like to dig into the surrounding market and just see what other houses are available for sale at that price point. Check it out here. So this is a view of all of Colorado. We've got 27 total listings that are listed for over $25 million. Our Quincy Avenue listing that we're talking about today is sitting right over here, not far away from Denver. And then basically every other super expensive listing in Colorado is either over here around Aspen, with the most expensive one in the state being this $100 million house off Galena Street. Then there's another pocket of expensive houses in this Telluride and Durango area down here. but that's about it for listings over 25 million bucks in the state of Colorado. With that quick study, I feel like the subject of today's video might be a bit of a tough sell because it's by far the most expensive real estate listing in that immediate area. But Denver, Colorado does rank among the most expensive cities in the world, so it's possible that somebody out there with deep pockets that loves Denver scoops this place up to call home. Anyways, I've got a woodworking friend who actually has experience doing that torched wood siding that we were just looking at on this house. His shop is actually right down the street, and I'm kind of curious to see what he has to say about this design detail and exactly how you pull it off. So let's go meet Will and see what he thinks. All right, guys, so we just got to Will's shop. We're gonna have a quick chat with him. There's his truck, by the way, which I am pretty obsessed with. Let me show you around here really quick though. So he's got a woodworking shop here, but then a coffee shop in the front, and all of it's pretty awesome. He's a super talented woodworker out here in Phoenix. So let me show you that real quick, and then we'll sit down with Will and we'll ask him about that Shou Sugi Ban. So check it out. This is the front of the shop. So he makes all this stuff like that chair and that table and this whole waterfall bar top here and that light fixture, which is really cool. And he's got some stuff over here for sale, but everything in this shop he made. So this is the coffee shop, and then behind that window and back in here is his woodworking shop, which he's currently remodeling, so it's kind of a mess, but I'll just show you guys real quick. There's Will. What's up, Will? We'll meet him in a second. So you guys can see back here, he's got everything. There's a huge CNC machine over there and a bunch of other stuff. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, really cool spot, and this guy definitely knows what he's talking about, so it'll be fun to chat with him about this house. All right, man, so I told you about this house I'm doing a video on in Colorado. It's like 30 million bucks, and it's got all that burned wood treatment on the side of it. So that's the house. I mean, I know I sent you the link already, but just so you have a visual.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you some questions about this burned siding, since I know you used to do it, and I think that everybody would like to hear your opinion on this stuff. So first of all, what do you think of the house?
I think this house is really cool. I like all the glass. It's open. I like the black, the contrast, pretty sweet.
What is this Shou Sugi Ban method of burning wood and putting it on siding? Like, where did it originate from, and how do you do it?
Sure. So it's called Shou Sugi Ban.
I knew I was pronouncing
Shou
it wrong.
Sugi Ban.
I knew I was pronouncing it wrong.
It's an ancient Japanese technique that was used for weatherproofing siding. So instead of painting, they would torch it all the way. Like, the more you torch it, the better. It goes black, and it weatherproofs, typically cedar, but sometimes with oak as well. It's just a tried and true method from a long time ago that we kind of recently just like took on as a fad a bit. Like, we're not doing it because like the reasons they were doing it, we're doing it because it looks cool. So I was doing it a long time ago, and then it kind of disappeared, but I've heard a few people talk about doing it again recently, so I think it's kind of coming back.
So when you were doing it, were you doing it on like exterior siding just like this?
Yeah, only for exteriors. I wouldn't put it on the interior. It does, like, when you touch it, it will have some black on your hands, unless you like really clean it and then like lacquer it or something. Probably what they did, but you don't want to like rub up against it because it might leave some black on your shirt.
Is it pretty expensive to do?
It depends. If you go cedar, then no, it's not very expensive, especially if you consider the savings that you get from not having to hire a painter.
So you're laying out all the planks like in your shop, burning them in the shop with like a propane, just like.
Yeah, a big propane tank, and then a massive torch. It sounds like a jet engine. It's like in a big flame, and because you want it to burn fast, you don't want to be sitting there. And the harder woods burn slower, so it takes longer for those. So that also would be coming into consideration when it comes to pricing.
So it just catches on fire and then it goes out, or like it catches on fire and you've got to put it out with water, or what?
No, it goes out. I mean, I suppose you could put it out, but with water. But you're like so already as you burn it, you're putting all that heat on it. It's gonna warp the wood, which is natural. And then if you dump water on it, it's gonna warp it again.
Yeah.
And then you might get like twisting and stuff. So I never dumped water on it. I just let it kind of go out.
You're doing a lot of woodworking now. I just showed everybody the shop really quick. Would you do this method anymore? Like, I know you haven't done it in a while. Would you do it again if someone asked you to?
No, but that's really just because I don't have a space for it right now. I had it before. I had like a shop that was not in a storefront, and I was able to do it because you don't ever want to torch the wood while it's installed. Actually, so don't do that. Don't torch the wood while it's installed. But I would go out back at my old shop and I would be able to torch it on the floor, and then it would be all good.
I think my title for this video is going to be something like, "They didn't like the way this house looked, so they lit it on fire." What do you think? Is that a good one?
That's a good one. I just realized that you haven't had the mic for your question.
It's all good, man. We're fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.